Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Juliette Clark, and I have a very unique guest. And I know I always say that because I really try to cultivate the best guests for you guys. But this guy is 22 years old and making bank because he has monetized YouTube. So we're going to get a lot of education on YouTube today. Marc Guberti is a USA Today and Wall Street Journal best-selling author with over 100,000 students in 180 countries enrolled in his online courses. He hosts 3 podcasts and several evergreen virtual summits where he teaches people how to grow their businesses and achieve personal transformations. He coaches authors, speakers, coaches and business owners on how they can attract more traffic to their content and boost revenue. And that's mainly on YouTube, right, Marc?
YouTube and podcasting.
And I'm really honored to be a part of a summit, the Mass Media Live Summit, that we're both going to be a part of this weekend. I'm excited. That's how I've been driving traffic, is telling people that you've got to see this guy on YouTube. We can't let the 22-year-old beat us out, right? You can't let us do this to us old folks. So welcome.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I am excited. You're going to talk about some YouTube mistakes that people are making today, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. I know one of them is not knowing what to say in your videos, which I think is pretty common on a podcast too. That's why podcasters quit as well, as they think they've got some excitement and then they just run out of steam. So how do you come up with that?
So I first come up with video ideas based on what the keywords are telling me to do. So I always look in my niche. Like, I don't want to branch out to something that I don't feel comfortable talking about. So I stay within my expertise, and then I look at keywords to figure out what the topic is. Then it's just a matter of outlining your videos, scripting it, figuring out what you're going to say. I feel like, though, as you get better at doing videos, it's tempting to skip this step, because right now I don't have any script in front of me telling me what I have to say right now. And you could feel like as you do more videos, you could be more of a natural. So I do feel like people who are new do struggle with, oh, what do I say next? How to get more confident on camera. But you also have the scenario where someone could be so confident on camera that they still do a great video, but they're not saying like this video. They're not leading into, subscribe to my channel. So there are different things you can forget to do, even if you're a seasoned video creator, if you don't have that script. So figure out what video topic you're going to do based on keyword, and then really script it out. Like, what points are you going to discuss? Like, where are you going to mention products with your affiliate links? What editing do you want to have done so people can see a product in action, and really script out those different processes?
So for those people who don't know, who don't use keywords now, where do you go? What do you do that? What do you base those on?
So when you look up something on YouTube to find a video, like let's say you want to look up like self-publishing tips, and then a bunch of videos come up for self-publishing tips. Self-publishing tips is the keyword, and that won't tell you if it's a good keyword or not just by typing it in and seeing what videos comes up. I actually use something called VidIQ, which is a Chrome extension that allows you to see how competitive a keyword is, how many people are actually searching for it, and it gives you a score, and based on that score, it tells you, is this a good keyword or is this a keyword you have to stay away from?
And does it scan YouTube? Is that where it finds, because you said VidIQ or Vimeo, does it just scan everything out there?
VidIQ is just for YouTube.
Okay, so great tip. Thank you. That's fantastic. Okay, so what you're saying too is that people get into the videos and they don't use their call to action when it's not scripted. They don't have something in front of them, and that's the whole thing, is you want someone to take action.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in my videos, I'm always right away saying subscribe to the channel within the first minute. I'm always giving people a good reason to hit the like button that's relevant to the video, because if you forget those call to actions, it hurts your ability to grow on YouTube.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the second mistake we were talking about a little bit was not paying attention to important metrics. And it's funny because I know Tracy Hazard, the Hazards. We're actually having a Marketing Monday mixer show about this, because people are looking at all the wrong things. So where do they look? What do you do with those on YouTube?
So YouTube gives you so many different metrics to look at. The ones that really matter are retention rate and click-through rate. So if you have a high click-through rate, that tells YouTube that people who see your video, who see the impression, they're going to click on it.
Okay.
And that tells YouTube, let me promote this guy's video a little more. Retention rate tells you how long someone is sticking around on your video. So if you have a high click-through rate, but people are leaving after like the first few seconds, YouTube doesn't want to promote a video that, because that's like a clickbait kind of thing. Like, you got a ridiculously high click-through rate, but then no one stays for your video. It has that clickbait vibe, and then YouTube doesn't want to promote that stuff, even if you're getting a lot of clicks for your thumbnail. So those are the two metrics you have to look at the most. I would also look at impression growth, because it's something you definitely have a little less control over. But if, click-through rate and the other one, retention rate, stay the same, then it really just boils down to how many impressions you are getting. So if you have a 5% click-through rate that is constant, then if you get 100 impressions, you get 5 views. If you get 100,000 impressions, that's a lot more views. YouTube isn't just going to hand out these impressions, but it is good to see if you get a spike in impressions. Was it because you came out with a new video? Was it because something else happened? What topics are resonating the most? The other stats, click-through rate and retention rate, are more reliable, but it is good to just keep an eye out on impressions, because if everything else stays the same, that's a good metric to look at.
So what is impression on there? How does YouTube define an impression?
An impression is pretty much, you type a search term, a bunch of videos pop up, and if the video shows up on your screen, even if you don't click on it, you just see its thumbnail title, that's an impression. It's not like a super reliable, like, you don't want to make that the thing that you chase. You want to focus on the other two first and then look at impressions later.
Okay, because a lot of other videos could come up at the same time.
Yeah, and it's harder to figure out how to boost impressions.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So one of the other ones is not taking it seriously. What does that mean? Just posting and running and never looking back?
I think with YouTube, you have to really be serious, in the sense that you could be posting videos thinking you're going to be the next big YouTuber, but then if you just give up after a month because you don't see the results, you don't see the subscriber growth that you're looking for, then you just give up on it. And then when you go back on YouTube again, it's like back to square one. You have to be willing to go at this thing for months, for some people years, before you see that significant payoff, and YouTube is able to pay your bills. YouTube and the affiliate revenue you're able to generate is able to pay things off. But you do want to take it seriously. The amount of time you spend creating the script, like, it's not just like you come up, record yourself, shoot yourself, like the video, and then you're done. Like, there's the scripting to figure out like what call to action, how do you make money, not just with Google AdSense, but beyond that, doing high quality editing to enhance the viewer experience. So it's just a matter of how much time you're willing to put into YouTube and how long you do it over time, and then the results come.
That's great. So I just want to define for people, because you said two different things there about Google ad revenue and affiliate. How are those different, and how should you use those?
So Google AdSense is available for people who have over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 365 days. And Google AdSense can be a stream of full-time income, but you usually see that from people who are on that trajectory to 100,000 subscribers. So it's, for a lot of people, especially in the beginning when they first hit that milestone, it's really nice pocket change, but it's not going to like be life-changing. Affiliate revenue, on the other hand, you could be doing this from day one, even before Google AdSense kicks in. So one of the things that I promote on my YouTube channel is Publish Your Rocket, which is great for self-published authors who want to do keyword stuff similar to VidIQ, but for self-published authors. And when people buy that, I make a commission. And that goes for any of my products or any other affiliate links. So like, for instance, if you make $200 for a sale, let's say, from something you're promoting, and you get one sale out of like 50 people who view it, then you're getting paid on average $4 per view, which is much harder. That's not even possible from like a Google AdSense standpoint. You're never going to get paid $4 per view with Google AdSense.
Right, right. I want to go back to something you said there, though, because YouTube, like Amazon and other places, when we deal with Amazon, you said that you need 1,000 subscribers And was it 400 hours?
4,000 watch hours.
4,000
Yeah.
hours. I want to bring that up to you guys. That is so important. So on Amazon, people used to cheat, and they'd
Yeah.
have people like their book, they'd have people buy, they had reviews, all sorts of scams. I love that you said that on YouTube, because that keeps people from buying traffic, which isn't really going to help you convert. Can you explain that a little, why that bought traffic doesn't really help you? Because I don't think people understand that.
I mean, bought traffic, you're definitely losing money. I get why people like the idea, because, a video with 100,000 views, but um, one of the things YouTube again looks at is retention rate. So if you're paying for views, but they're only sticking around for 2 seconds, because if you're going to like a click farm and you're paying them like 100,000 views, and you have a 10-minute video, they're not going to watch 1,000,000 minutes of your content. They're just going to click out, and then you're going to see like 5% retention rate. And YouTube's going to be like, oh, like, I don't know if they could they see like the spike in views and then it drops, and they're like, maybe they probably see something there in their algorithm, but it's also like people are clicking this, but are not interested at all in staying around. So even if it was a great video, had like a 40% retention rate with like your 200 viewers, your extra surge of views that you bought really kill your retention rate and that whole video. It definitely looks cooler to have that many views, but you're losing money and you're losing the ability of the long-term growth you could have on YouTube, because once one of your videos takes off, a few of your other videos you wouldn't have thought of take off too.
That is a great answer. And I want to point out that the whole point of this is conversion. So buying that traffic, having that low retention rate, that doesn't get people to the call to action, and that bot audience is not going to purchase. So you really haven't achieved anything except maybe a little bit of, ego.
Yeah.
Look, I have 100,000. Very, very good. Not looking at past videos to see what you can do better. That was one of the other tips that you gave us. So there's always the opportunity to edit. I'm going back and adding cards right now. So, there's that opportunity as well. So what are you looking for when you go back to look at these?
So I always look to views and retention rate. So if I see a video has a lot of views, but the retention rate is so bad, I'm going to put cards at the points where people just want to leave and give them a higher value video. Because like, you could go back and add cards and add end screens, but it's not like you could add an entire clip to a video or like upload a different video to take its spot. So for those videos that are getting a lot of views, but not that much retention rate, use cards at those points where people are clicking off. You could also look to see, what are your videos with high retention rates? What are you doing? Are you doing more edits? Are you doing less edits? What level of editing? What level of because there are some YouTubers who they will stand like this and then they'll move over there and they just create a bunch of clips like that, and their videos do very well. And they're doing well because these YouTubers keep on doing it. And, if the data told them this was bad, they would be stopping and not doing that. So you want to be looking to see, what are your videos that have high retention rates and why? Like, watch it and try and figure out, why is it viewer? Why do your videos have low retention rates for ones that do? And then adding cards at the spot. So like, if people tune off at like the 2-minute mark, add a card at like the 150 mark, so that before someone's thinking of actually leaving, they see your suggested video and go there instead.
That's cool. Could you just, because I realize a lot of people listening may not know what the cards are, what the end screens are, and things like that. Can you kind of explain those?
Yeah. So the end screen is at the very end of a video. If you've ever seen like a few like videos that are being suggested at the end of a channel, it's all of their content. That's an end screen. You usually see like a picture of the person. You hover to that picture and you can subscribe to their channel. So the end screen, you have the opportunity to promote your channel and promote your videos in a playlist. So that's end screen. A card is just like at the middle of a video, you could have something pop up on the top right that leads people to another one of your videos that you suggest. You pick which video that one is. And it's a way to like, if you've ever watched like a YouTube video where someone says like, I recently created a video on this, and then something pops up on the top right, that's what a card is.
Okay, very cool. And for those of you guys who podcast and you're recording, you need to have that YouTube channel with those podcasts over there as well, right? In addition to all the distribution points.
Yeah, definitely. And if you are YouTube and podcasts and you're repurposing your podcast episodes for YouTube, I mean, the call to action I would emphasize at the beginning of your show, at the end of, I would emphasize subscribe, because that is something that people get that whether they're listening to your podcast or watching you on YouTube. Because like leave a review is podcast only, like and leave a comment is YouTube only. So I would really drive the point to subscribe as that call to action.
So if you're doing a podcast, do both, or would you add it in later? So if you're reviewing by podcast, subscribe and review. If you're seeing this on YouTube, subscribe.
I would say I would just do just to subscribe. Like if you want to add a clip at like the beginning or at the end of either one, and then like, add that like call to action specific to the platform, you can do that. My only thing with that is like, again, like part of the looking at retention rate is how many people make it to the end. And then just like the ease of being able to take the podcast video format and just easily put it into YouTube versus creating custom clips for each of them. And I do right now 6 episodes a week. So that would just be something harder for me to do.
I am just running into all these. Everybody that I've interviewed this week has like a daily podcast. I just don't know how you guys get the time. That's incredible. This is the biggie for people, not promoting well enough. What do you need to do to realistically promote if you want to monetize?
I think one of the big mistakes people make with promotion is they just figure it out on the fly as soon as they come out with a new piece of content. So what I encourage you to do listening is take out a sheet of paper or note or whatever and write down all of your platforms that you are active and that you are on and providing value to your community. And in doing that, you are in a sense creating a marketing plan. So for each of my YouTube videos, I publish on YouTube, but I'm also telling my email list. I'm posting it in one of my Udemy courses. I'm putting it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. So I know where I have to promote the video before I actually start promoting. So it feels more systematic. It feels more like getting into the motions than like, oh, I should really figure out how to promote this thing. And that's what you do on the initial launch. And then feel free to talk about it. I mean, if it does well, like let people know the status of your video, let people know how your audience is engaging with it, because it's better to do like 1 or 2 videos each week than a video each day, because you want the videos to get more views, more engagement, because then that's going to tell YouTube that you have some winners on your channel.
No, that's awesome too. And I was just thinking LinkedIn, I think you could do what I do with my podcast with YouTube. Correct me if I'm wrong. When I have people inquire and I've talked to them and I do a podcast that fits in with what their questions, where they're struggling, I send it to them in their inbox as well and say,
Oh, that's really great.
I think you could probably do that with a YouTube as well.
Yeah, that's really great. And then since it's like, to the person, like for YouTube, you could get that person to like, and just as important, leave a comment, because likes and comments are going to push your video up in the algorithm.
Look at that. I knew more than I thought. So you and I talked a little bit about how, before we started here, how my people use the quiz platform. And we use it on social media. We use it on podcasts. We use it from the stage very effectively. It's a great way to capture the room. But if you're over on YouTube, what's the best way to get people to click into that quiz so that you can capture that YouTube audience instead of using like an ebook? What would your recommendation be for my quiz people?
My recommendation is to create custom YouTube videos based on like how the person does on a quiz. So like you could say like, here is a customized YouTube video based on how you do on the quiz. And then you would create YouTube videos based on like score ranges. So like if it's from 1 to 10, you're not creating a video for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not doing that. You're doing like 1 to 3, 4 to 7, then 8 to 10, something like that. And with these YouTube videos, you can make them unlisted, which means it's not like they could just scroll through your videos to find the one that's meant for them. Because with YouTube, like, you know, if people hear YouTube, like, oh, they'll just scroll down until they see what they're looking for,
Right.
but make it unlisted, they can't do that. And then it's a way to say, you know, hey, thanks for taking the quiz. I saw you got like an intermediate level, let's say 4 to 7. And here's my advice for you. And that's the type of video you can give them and next steps in that video as well.
You guys, that is such a wonderful way. So you can actually look at your categories and your scores. And I don't know that I would do this for everybody because the low commitment people are usually drive-by looky-loos, but what a way to connect with those people by giving them that custom YouTube. And what he's talking about is you can make them so only the person that you make it for can see that link. It's not like I'm going to get on and go, well, hey, Mark, you kind of sucked at this and you did really well here. Like nobody else is going to see it. And I wouldn't talk to my clients like that anyway. I wish I could, but but God, what a great idea. What a great way to use those quizzes. Do you mind if I steal that idea?
Yeah, go for it.
Good. I'm going to try it and share that with my clients because I think it would be an amazing way to really connect with those people on a bigger level and be able to offer them, if they're high commitment, that strategy session again. So you kind of get a mini session and then you get an actual let's talk type of session as well. That is amazing. So what else do we need to know about YouTube? The products, the branding, what else do you think is really important here? And you don't have to address those, just whatever you think.
I would just say for YouTube, the key thing is to tie it to what you're offering. So it could be really tempting to pursue something that has nothing to do with your business, that doesn't connect with what you're doing, or something similar to what you do, but isn't really what you do. But I would have a way of like being able to mention something in each video. Like I mentioned Publisher Rocket. I do a lot of videos on my channel lately about self-publishing and how authors can you know, make more money with their books. So I do mention Publisher Rocket. And each time I mention it, there's like a little screen capture of me using Publisher Rocket. And I do work something like that into each video, whether it's that or like an email thing like ConvertKit or something like that, or one of my own programs, because that's going to be something that allows me to make revenue from my videos. I mean, AdSense can be really great if you have a lot of subscribers, but promoting your own programs and promoting affiliate programs when it makes sense allows you to get to that point of making like several dollars per view instead of the few dollars for every 1,000 views, which is what Google AdSense usually does.
Right. And I can't ever remember actually clicking on an ad. I'm always, anticipating
Skip.
where's that skip? Where's that
Yeah.
skip? So I'm sure I'm not alone on that. Nobody likes to have that overt selling. So you have a lot of books in the background there. I'm actually impressed. I've written 9. How many do you have there? 1, 2, 3.
That's not all of them. Like I only started doing paperbacks like recently. I've done a total of I think 26 at this point, but those are just some of them.
That's like a book for more than a book
More
for
than
every year of your
yeah.
life. That's incredible. How do you write them so quickly?
I just create an outline for each book and I go into it. I only do like 1,000 words per day. My books are relatively short. I go for like anywhere from 16 to 20,000 words.
Okay.
I'd rather have like a few 80-page books than that one like 300-page book, because the 300-pager just takes so much longer to write because I've done that.
Uh-huh.
But the 80-page book allows you to go deep enough, it's a quick write, it's a quick read. And people who, if you're at a book signing, people have to carry the books around that they collect. So it's people I say like, oh, I'm so happy your book is so short because I could put it in my suitcase or I could carry it around in my bag. So it's just something easier to carry too.
That is such a great point. I actually have one coming out in March called Pitch Slapped, and it is short. It's direct. It's to the point. But I used to be a novelist, and I wrote mystery novels, and those were obnoxious, long, and I don't think people have the attention span for that anymore when they are trying to learn something like the YouTube Decoded. If you're really trying to learn something, 300 pages is never going to get read, especially since we all have ADD these days. Like, next shiny object, here we are. That is amazing. So anything else you'd like to share with us?
I'd say on the YouTube front, I feel like we've covered a lot of ground. I would just say, like, again, have those call to actions. Really think about how you're going to implement the different things from this episode, because that's how you're going to get the most value from this experience.
Yeah, and he's given us a lot. I'm going back and putting cards in. Descriptions. We didn't cover
Oh,
descriptions.
descriptions.
Yeah. So tell us about descriptions because I know when my company, the company I use posts my podcast, there are no links in there. There should be links, right?
Oh yeah. Like what? Like I know I keep doing Publisher Rocket. I might as well be getting paid for them at this point, but do this episode. But I have the link in all my videos, like all my recent videos, to them or to some other affiliate thing. Because like right now, if I say get Publisher Rocket and you get it by doing your own Google search, like I don't get a commission for that.
Right.
But if I say get Publisher Rocket, link in the description, and people click it, and that, like, I've had people come to me, and like one person actually reached out to me recently through email and said, I heard your video about like Publisher Rocket. I heard I like the tool, but you didn't put the link in the video, and I really want to buy it from you because of all the free content that you've given me. So not only did that allow me to, like, oh, I got to put this link in, I forgot, which,
Hmm.
by the way, it's now my upload default, so I won't forget again for that. But then the person ended up buying Publisher Rocket. So you get like community like that from your videos, and then just mentioning tools and stuff like that with the links rather than just like shout out to this tool resource allows you to make more revenue from your videos.
Absolutely. And someone pointed that out. So I'm going back through along with the cards and all the other stuff. And you guys, I can't even stress to you how simple this is. I did one right before we got on. It took me maybe 7 minutes to add. And most of it's because I'm still fumbling. It's all brand new. I'm sure it'll be easy peasy once I get it going. So you have some upcoming courses, some things where people can find you. You want to share those?
Sure. So pretty soon, it should be out already, but we are going to be doing a 5-day YouTube mini course, which is going to get you into the swing of using YouTube to grow your business. So if you guys are interested in that, we will have a link to that in the show notes.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. And if I wanted to hire you today or find out more, where would I go to do that?
If you guys want to schedule a free call with me to see if we're fit, to like see if you want help with podcast, YouTube coaching, or just some management stuff, marcguberti.com/strategy is the place to go. Mark with a C /strategy.
Okay. And Guberti, Guberti, correct?
Perfect.
Yay,
Yes.
I could spell. Mark, thank you so much. I am so excited to hear you talk this weekend because I'm sure there's just so much that I need to learn about this. So thank you so much for being on.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.